What's up guys, Dr. Golbeck, and we've been talking a lot about the knees recently. So today, I'd like to address the hips. Now, when it comes to knee pain, the hips have been shown in the research to have a pretty significant effect. And specifically, we're talking about abduction of the leg, or the leg moving away from the body. And having strength in that range can help to decrease knee pain. Primarily the knee pain that is right below the kneecap, which is really common for pretty much all of our athletes, our runners, basketball players, football players, everyone. So today what I want to do is take you through 3 different movements that I like to use to address the strength when it comes to abduction of the hip. Now I like to think of these movements as a general sweep because they seem to help with about 80% of the general population. Now 20% of the people are going to need a more tailored approach, but these 3 are a really good place to start. And for the most part, they're not going to hurt anyone. They're going to help you regardless if you have knee pain or not. So let's take a look. Single leg RDLs are great for strengthening the hip, but they're also really good for controlling different kinds of motion through the ankle, through the knee, and they can help with balance issues, all kinds of different things. Now, the place that I like to start with these is using something to help with balance. From here, we're going to work on hip hinging, thinking of taking your hips back as you come down, trying to keep a neutral position in your spine. We don't just want to round here. Then we're going to come down to that position and just work on lifting the leg to start. Okay, when you get used to that position, my favorite one that I've been using recently is reaching the arms as far forward as you can as we reach the leg and the hip as far backwards as we can. So think of your foot as sliding across the floor until it pops off. And then we're going to reach and hip hinge as far as you can. And then back up. We can do this on both sides, and I'll typically start you with about 8 reps. Now, if that becomes too easy, we can start to use some weight. You can grab a bar, you can use a kettlebell, and we can hold that as we do that same motion and come back up. For strength of the abductors of the hip, the ones that move the leg away from the body, one thing that I like to use is a portion of the movement called fourth wall. Now what we want to think of here is that there is a wall in front of our body and we cannot break that wall. You cannot dip forward at all. We can go backwards, we can go side to side, but you cannot dip forward, okay? The position that I like to use, we're going to use our arms for balance as we need to. We're going to take one leg at a time and reach behind the front leg. Go as far as you comfortably can, controlling that, not putting weight on that opposite leg, and then control it back to the start. Now it's very important with these that we control the motion. If at any point I say stop, you should be able to stop. We're going to do this on both sides. Trying not to let this dip forward. And typically what I'll have you do is 3 to 5 sets of 1 reach on each side. Okay, really focusing on that control. To help with strength of the hip abductors as well as flexibility on the inside, on the groin, I like to use 90-90 hip rotations. Now what we're going to do with these is start with our knees in 90 degrees on one and 90 degrees on the other. But be kind to your body. If we need to tailor this to you and move to a little different position, that's totally fine. This should feel good as we do it. Now to start, most people, I'll have them lean back on their hands. And what we want to do is rotate from one to the other. And we're going to go back and forth. Now if we want to progress this, we can come up off of our hands here, and you can even grab a weight or something if you want to. Now usually I'll just have you rotate back and forth around 10 or 15 per side, and we can do a couple of sets to this just to help open up the hips a little bit and strengthen those glutes on the outside of our leg there. Now, like I mentioned before, these are a general sweep. They help with most people, but some people are going to need an actual exam and tailored treatment to fix their problem. And that's something that you would need to come into the office for. But until then, you may as well give these a try, because if you can fix yourself, you should. And if you can't, we're here.